What we're going to cover in this short video are wall texturing tips. There's a few things. This is all explained in both, I believe, the rendering training and the architectural training, but this is a pretty commonly asked question, and I just wanted to clarify it. We'll go ahead and we'll just do a simple bit of wall as an example. Keep it really simple just to give you an idea. So no texture to start with here. We fly around it, we see no texture on either side of the object, just nice and gray. If we go here, we have the wall selected and we're in the render tab, and we change this texture. Well, first we'll change it to a texture, which will just be no texture, but here I'll look for a nice wood texture of some kind. That's fine. See how the texture only applies on the top and the sides and the bottom as well? That's because here we're currently texturing in the mode by object. So each of these objects have their own texture settings. The overall texture is set to use floor, arrow A, and the rest of them start cap, end cap, which is the beginning and the end. Top and bottom, and holes. This would be any holes that we had cut in the wall. These are using from overall, so they'll use the overall option. Left and right by default are separate. So if we choose left, we assign this a texture as well. Go ahead and just pick a metal texture of some kind. That's fine. That's now applied to the left side of the wall. So if we rotate it around, there's our metal texture. The right is still using class texture as empty. However, what if we want the right, instead of assigning a texture manually, so we don't have to assign 3 textures separately, click on the right and click revert to overall. It'll use the same texture that the top and sides use. We can also go to the left and click revert to overall as well, and then the entire wall will use this one texture. Now if we go to change this overall texture, you can see here every single part of the wall is using from overall. We change this texture once. Look for a stone of some kind, that's fine. Everything will change, all at the same time. That's texturing with the mode by object. Walls can also be textured by component, which is completely separate from this system we had selected here. So when we do by component, we still get the options here, but each of the components individually can also texture the wall. They're not currently because we don't have any components to the wall. The wall has no style. I'm going to pick a style for the wall. I'm going to pick one that I happen to know. Nope. I'm going to pick one that I happen to know has a couple textures in it. There we are. I can see the inside texture, the outside texture, and the top. Even though if I go to render, now it's showing the textures that it's using. So it's showing the texture and the tiling that came from the components we were using. If we want, without changing the style of the wall, we could switch it back to by object. The wall is still styled and will behave that way, but the render settings are completely separate. This is so that you can texture either automatically by component, and if I switch the components with another set of components we'll use instead. Here, let's find some brick. There we go, that'll be fine. You can see it's now using the components, and the components are divvied up and textured appropriately. You can apply a style to a wall and still texture it separately, is the main idea. And now when we go to part, this part listing is only going to show the various components. It's not going to show left, right, and top and bottom. For that, you would switch this back to by object, and then you can control these, and it'll keep the mapping you set before. So we could map these separately if we wanted to this time. Just to show what we did, there we are. In both cases, this wall can be left styled or unstyled, and the texture can be controlled separately. This is just to clarify a pretty common question, and I hope that makes it a lot easier for you. Thank you, and have a great day.